Hi, my name's Kaylee Craig. I'm a sophomore at Anderson University. I am studying elementary education with minors in special education and dance. To go off of Standard 1 for educators, I believe that working with technology, you yourself as the educator need to know and understand what you're working with in order to be productive with your students with the technology. I think that in order to advance your students' curriculum and their learning and all of these great things with the technology, it can be done, but you need to know when it's going to hinder your students' learning and when it's going to be very helpful with your students' learning. As for an educator yourself, I believe that you need to be across the board understood in what you're teaching your students with technology-wise. I think that you can use it in more than one subject, all the way from art all the way to science. I think that you also need to be learning new things about technology as you go, and I feel like that bleeds into being a lifelong learner as an educator, as well as staying current in not only the fields of an elementary educator, but in different subjects as well. As for things I know about Standard 1, I know it depends on your school and organization what kind of technology you have access to, whether that be lower financially, costly type things, all the way up to one-to-one devices, different technology programs that the students have on their devices and the technology they use in the classroom. I also think that learning in class doesn't have to stop in class. I know that students will carry the things that they do in class all the way outside of the classroom, at home, at extracurriculars, dance classes, art classes, things like that. So I would like to be able to, in my teaching with assistive tech, I know that students are going to carry it into more than one place. They're not just going to forget it in my classroom. So I feel like that goes back to the knowing and understanding it yourself in order to teach it effectively. As for things I'm doing right now, according to Standard 1, to better myself as a future educator, I'm learning different management systems. I'm learning how to use Canvas, different Google types of things, Google Chat, things like that. I'm also working on creating a PLN right now. I follow different blogs, different social medias on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, things of that nature. So I am working to better myself. As for Standard 2, I believe that teachers need to know their own vision and what that vision is that they want for their classroom and for their students. But I also believe that you need to know the vision that your school has set. So depending on what school or organization that you work for, it's very critical for not only you, but for your students, for you to understand that and abide by what they would like. I also believe that you need to continue your training. Going back to Standard 1, I think everyone is a lifelong learner, whether they realize it or not. So I think that continuing to better yourself, not only for you, but for your students, is very important. I also believe that exploration is very vital. So going along with the continuing your training, I believe that exploring different things, different technologies, different management systems, management styles, all of that goes back into bettering yourself as a lifelong learner. As for things I know for Standard 2, I know that you need to continue your learning, as I've said. So things like that, going back and bettering yourself for your students, along with knowing your vision and knowing how to evaluate yourself, whether that be self-evaluation, peer evaluation, different colleagues, or administration. And these are all things that I'm learning in my classes this year. So thank you.